Still a few people that are filing into the room here, and look forward to speaking with everybody in just a minute.
Yes, you can. Well, welcome everyone. This is CJ Laria, and I want to thank you for being on time to this very, very interesting webinar here with Scotty Sachs. Also, I just want to take the time, as a moment now, to thank all of you for following me, to read my articles and see my videos and whatever video instruction we provide. You know, I truly do believe that the key to being a successful entrepreneur starts from within. And sometimes we have to change our perspective, because rather than learning a couple of slick techniques, it may be that we need to restructure our thinking a bit and do things the way the experts do it. You know, one of those things has to do with marketing. And as you know, whether you're in the real estate investment business or any business, in fact, many of my students are just doing real estate part-time, whatever your business, marketing is absolutely the lifeblood. And it's been a big challenge for most every business, no matter what size. So I'm sure you can appreciate the need for being on this webinar. I met Scotty Sachs back in October last year at an event where I was speaking down in Southern California. And I must tell you, Scotty's an interesting fellow. He has a background that goes way back 32 years ago in media, in show business, and in marketing. And what you're going to find today on this webinar is going to actually change the way you think about marketing. And hopefully, really his objective is to help simplify that process for you. Not only simplify, but make it more profitable. And what's happened along the road to getting there is most people, they find that there's a tremendous amount of frustration. So in order to eliminate that frustration about marketing from your lives, I want to introduce you my new friend, Scotty Sachs. Scotty, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, CJ, very much. Very well spoken. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, CJ, there's nothing I like more than hanging out with entrepreneurs. And I know from talking to you and spending a little time together that your list and your followers are all entrepreneurs. And that's really where I think we all started. We're all in the same boat, so to speak, the old cliche. We're all floating in the same boat here tonight, and I want to thank everybody, truly, heartfelt thank you as fellow entrepreneurs for having the faith and confidence in CJ first and foremost, as well as having the interest in attending tonight's presentation. My commitment to you tonight is to give you some takeaway value that you can implement immediately in your business. I want you to be done this evening and know that you have taken something away that you can implement in your business tomorrow when you walk into the office. You know, CJ mentioned simplifying marketing, and that's really, from an overarching perspective this evening, I want to frame this by saying as a fellow entrepreneur, I know how frustrating marketing can be. Even for those of us who have been doing it 3 decades or more, marketing is one of those things. It seems like every day we turn our computers on and we open our email, there's another shiny object, there's another magic bullet waiting for us. Does anybody else here feel like they're always getting pitched from internet marketers these shiny objects and magic bullets? I feel as if I'm always bombarded by the complexities and the intricacies of technology. And what I want to do tonight is take all of that technology and all of that crazy stuff on the internet and say to you, put it aside and let's follow CJ's lead and think differently. There's 2 things we need to do tonight in the next hour. Let's think differently about marketing and let's think simplified, because I've got some very simple fundamentals. And in fact, when I go through the 5 fundamentals tonight, I think you're going to find it's nothing new. They're all going to be concepts that they're going to sound familiar and they're going to be familiar, because I have a feeling you've even implemented some of these fundamentals I'm going to share with you tonight, and I feel as if you're going to recognize them, and that's a good thing. And all I'm going to do tonight is reinforce some fundamentals you already know. Now, I will tell you at the end of this webinar, we're going to ask you to make a commitment and to look at the ProfitPlayer system as how it can help you in your business. And I think you'll find in the next 55 minutes or so that the ProfitPlayer system is a step-by-step marketing fundamentals that for my clients, that you're going to meet some of them tonight via video and testimonials. You'll find these fundamentals that I'm going to share with you are very, very helpful and strategic in letting you execute your marketing regardless of the kind of business you're in. So I also want to mention another sponsor tonight. We have the very good fortune of being sponsored and partnered with a new startup radio network called the Expert Radio Network. They are America's transformation stations. And for those of you experts on the phone tonight or on the webinar, you're going to hear more about the Expert Radio Network, and it's going to end up on the air from coast to coast on about 95 stations across the country, where experts just like you and I are going to end up being on air and being given a platform to share our knowledge and our expertise. So thank you to the Expert Radio Network. Okay, I'm going to start by giving you a little simple overview. What is ProfitPlayer? And I already sort of alluded to the fact that we're going to try to simplify our marketing and we're going to try to think a little differently. Again, we've been bombarded with this technology and technology-enabled marketing, and ProfitPlayer is going to bring you back tonight to some very proven fundamentals. And in the 32 years that I've helped my clients managing billions of dollars in marketing, I know that's a big number to wrap your arms around, but 32 years is also a very long time to be doing any business. And I've been doing this now my 33rd year, and in the billions of dollars I've had the blessings and good fortune to manage for my clients. They've ranged from Fortune 500 clients down to small entrepreneurs, everything from real estate to health and wellness marketing. I've managed a whole lot of retail. I've worked with some very big national franchise companies and some very small retailers. I've worked with franchisors and across every industry, from real estate to sports, sporting goods stores, some baby furniture stores. We've got very strong foundation in working with small to mid-size entrepreneurs, helping them manage their small to mid-size marketing budgets. So as I go through this tonight, I may talk about some of the big boys I've worked with, the HBOs and the Toshibas and the Sonys, but I want you to know that I am passionate, and the reason I've created ProfitPlayer was for the small to mid-sized business owner to share the marketing strategies and tactics that anybody can implement in their business immediately. And the real essence of ProfitPlayer, if you follow this step-by-step system and you implement it, you will ultimately have more leads, more traffic, and more sales. And we pay a lot of attention to your bottom line profits in this program. You know, at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, we all know it's not how much we make, it's how much we keep. And I want to make sure, as I help you with your marketing and execute our step-by-step system, that it's not about spending money on marketing and just generating sales and making the register ring. It's about keeping more dollars to your bottom line, because that's what it's all about, because only players make a profit in this world, and really this system was created for entrepreneurs to be better players. So let me tell you again, I think you already sort of heard me say, this is not a shiny object presentation. This is not about technology or the flavor of the month. And there are no magic bullets. And the bullets you see on the screen, on my screen, are left better for another conversation. You know, I've probably sat in on the last year. I try to do 1 or 2 webinars a week, whether I attend them like this live or I watch the replays. I see a lot of these magic bullet formulas, and how many more software pitches am I going to listen to that are going to help me with my marketing? You need no software. You need 0 technology to execute the ProfitPlayer system. Now, that being said, I recognize, and we as a company utilize software as a tactical, practical point of view. Utilizing software and utilizing technology is very tactical, and it's very necessary. But it's not the foundation and fundamentals. For those of you that are in real estate, that are buying and selling homes, I don't think, honestly, that technology has ever been able to help you better buy or sell a home. Maybe to help you get the word out and distribute your message when you have a hot property and you need to reach and you need to find a buyer for that property. Certainly technology can help you get the word out with a property. But at the end of the day, it's really the fundamental tactics and strategies we use, whether we're selling homes or cars or we're selling books, whether we're a speaker, an author, a coach, maybe you're a retailer, perhaps we have some service professionals on the line. Whatever it is you're selling, I'm not here to downplay the importance of technology. I'm simply here to say success in our marketing comes from the fundamentals that I'm going to share with you tonight, and not from all of this craziness out there on the internet, the magic bullets and the technology. So here's what we're going to learn tonight. ProfitPlayer is going to introduce to you tonight a step-by-step system, and through this process, what we've been able to do with this system, and again, it's 32 years old now. I started this journey when I was 20 years old, immediately out of college. I was very fortunate, and later in the presentation, I'm going to share with you some of the ups and downs of those 30 years. But at the end of the day, this is really about your business and generating more leads and traffic, building bigger databases, being able to sell more products and services, and make bigger profits at the end of the day. Profitability is the name of the game in our businesses. I don't care how much cash we flow through our company. You know, when I was 24 years old, and I had very good mentors in my father and a brother and a couple of adopted uncles, and I was very fortunate at 24. I built an ad agency very quickly that did $2 million. Now, give a 24-year-old $2 million and sit back and watch what they do with it. You know, I thought it was all about how much money I created and how much money I was able to generate through my hustle and my energy and my youth at 24. Boy, did I learn it was not about how much I made, but about how much I kept, because by the time I was 25, I was starting all over. Does that sound familiar to anybody here? I think we've all probably been there, and maybe some of us who have been around long enough have done it once or twice, that process of starting a business and starting over. So here's what I know about being an entrepreneur right now. We're all sort of on a mission here together. And as entrepreneurs, we have a lot of opportunity, even in this recession, this down economy, whatever it is we're in. I don't even know what this is we're in, this economy. I've been in business 32 years, and I've never seen anything like this. I do know that I can identify these 3 things. I can simplify your marketing, as CJ said in the opening. I can take all the mystery out of the marketing strategies. By the time we're done tonight, I'm going to give you 5 strategies or fundamentals that are going to eliminate all the smoke and mirrors. Just the 5 things I'm going to bring to you tonight. And in about 10 minutes, we're about 10 minutes away from those fundamentals, I'm going to share with you 5 fundamentals that I can promise you will demystify, simplify, and eliminate all the smoke and mirrors. And I appreciate you being here and allowing me to share those 5 strategies with you. Now for a little more video. I just like to play that on the webinar to justify the money I spent on creating a logo and a jingle. So I just like to hear it every once in a while. So thank you for indulging me and allowing me to play my own jingle. I appreciate it. All right, so we got a big opportunity here, I think, as entrepreneurs. I think we're all in this together. Whatever I said, I don't know what this economy is. And I really don't. I don't know what's going on. I'm not smart enough to figure out what's going on in this country or the world around us. I do know we're part of a bigger global picture today, and we seem to be affected by everything going on around us. But I want you to know that at any level you're at in your marketing, no matter what level you're at, and regardless of your budget, big or small, my 3 marketing and media companies, we work with entrepreneurs that have budgets of anywhere from $1,000 a month to $2 million a month. I know doesn't that sound crazy? How do you service a customer base that has $1,000 a month to market their business and a company that has $2 million a month? Let me tell you how we do it. Whether they're a $1,000 a month client, a small entrepreneur like me, or a big company that's got $2 million to spend, the people behind that big company, they're also street savvy, learned this business out from the school of hard knocks. It's not how much money that somebody has that defines who we work with. It's where they come from, and it's what they're made of at the core. I do business with entrepreneurs. And I don't care how much money or budget an entrepreneur has. Our big client that has a $2 million budget, by the way, today they're in the business of buying and selling very large properties out of bankruptcy. They'll go into Louisville and Dallas and Houston and Charlotte and Chicago and LA, and they'll buy up 40, 50 condominiums from a bank where these condos were in bankruptcy. And they'll go to the bank. They have a deal with Wells Fargo. They tell me they have first dibs with Wells Fargo because of the relationship of the owner of the company. And when you're spending $2 million a month on marketing, you can imagine the kind of volume this company does. In fact, I'll share that with you. $2 million represents 5% of their sales. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how much should you be spending, whether you're a big company or a small company, whether we're in a big economy or a down economy, we need to be spending a percentage of our sales on marketing. And if you're on this webinar tonight and you do $1,000 a month in sales, you should be setting aside the same 5 to 10% as my client that does $40 million a month in sales. We as entrepreneurs need to set aside a fund for marketing depending on your industry. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Depending on your industry, we all need to set aside a percentage of our sales for marketing regardless of where we're at, because we have this big opportunity to come out the other side of this down economy. And I think we can all agree on one thing tonight, that those who stay in the trenches and remain aggressive, stay aggressive. If anything you do outmarkets your competition, and that doesn't mean spend more. It means by being aggressive and thinking about your marketing, make marketing a part of your overhead, just like your lights and your rent and your payrolls. Marketing should be a set-aside allowance, a percentage of your sales, and it doesn't matter what your gross sales are. If you're setting that money aside, we've got a big opportunity together to really make a difference and really knock our competition and render them really almost meaningless. I'm not saying you'll put them out of business, but it won't matter what they're doing if you're doing the right thing. If you're using the fundamentals, then it won't matter what they're doing. So I'm going to move on, and before I get to the fundamentals in a few minutes, we're just a few minutes away now, stay with us till the end of this webinar. I've got a couple of free gifts for you tonight. I want to start with your marketing, of course. Imagine a marketing guy giving away marketing coaching. I would like to offer everybody on this webinar 30 minutes of my time. We'll have to spread these out over the next 60 days. Thanks to CJ, we've got quite a good crowd here tonight. It tells me a lot about CJ's relationship with everybody here, and I'm really impressed with the turnout here and the caliber of people that CJ shared with me. And as a result of your time tonight, I want to give you 30 minutes of my time over the next 60 days. Our affiliate manager will make my calendar available to you, and you'll be able to go in on your own, and we'll send you a link to go in and schedule 30 minutes on my calendar. The other thing I want to do is something I've done, and that's sort of retrain my brain and retrain the way I think. CJ and I have a mutual friend and somebody we are associated with in business. She happens to work with probably the best guy I know who can deal with the 6 inches between our ears. I don't know. I've got about 6 inches between my ears. Some of you may be more or less, but that 6 inches between my 2 ears, I need to constantly be dealing with. And one of the ways I've done that is to go through John Asseroff's Praxis Now is the name of the company. John has been kind enough to give us 6 hours of free video, online video brain training. It's called Winning the Game of Money, and we're going to give you a link before the end of the webinar to go get that. We'll be able to take advantage of that. So I told you before we get into the fundamentals, I wanted to share with you how and why I know my fundamentals work. And, you know, the only reason I know as a marketer that I'm doing a good job is because I keep my clients. And in 1980, when I started my journey in this business, CJ alluded to being in the entertainment business and the media and marketing. You know, I've done a little bit of everything in the realm of media and marketing. But at the end of the day, as I said, it's all about marketing for entrepreneurs. And I've come across some pretty interesting entrepreneurs over the years. And through it all, through the 3 quick stories I'm about to share with you, I've been able, over the 32 years, to keep a dozen clients. There are 12 companies that I do business with today that have been with me on average 28 years. Now, some of those have been with me all 32. I still have 3 clients or 3 customers from my first year in business. I still have those customers today. And the only reason, it's not because we become friendly and, you know, they like me socially. So what? Business is business. They stick around regardless of my adversity and my personal travels. They've stuck around because of the marketing fundamentals. So did we all hear of the 3 strikes and you're out? I'm sure we've all undoubtedly heard of this old saying, 3 strikes and you're out. And we've all had adversity, and it's really not about the adversity, it's how we respond to it. And I know every time I got knocked down, I was able to go back to these fundamentals I'm going to share with you tonight, including being in business with the Chicago Mafia at the age of 21. Long story, very short. Unbeknownst to me, an auto dealership that awarded me their business. I won the account through a series of presentations. There were 6 agencies pitching the business, and I won the account and handled the account for 18 months before I found out the car dealership was owned by the Mafia. Now, I think they selected me because I was young and dumb, young and naive, young and I don't know what, young and something. But for 18 months, I was asked to meet the general manager of the dealership on the side of the building and hand off an envelope of cash. That was my first clue. I was in the wrong company. But being young, being handed $1,000 a week in income was very, very tempting. So After 18 months, the general manager I handed cash to each and every week for 18 months was found in the Chicago River in cement blocks. That was my second clue I was in bed with somebody bad. And at the end of the day, as the news media broke and the stories broke, very fortunately, the trail back to the advertising really didn't mean anything to anybody because I was sort of an innocent business associate and sort of wrapped up in this thing unwillingly and unknowingly. But let me tell you, when you have to face the world and realize what you've actually been doing for 18 months, starting over again, and then in my 30s, has anybody in this webinar tonight been in business for 3 decades? I suspect I'm not the only one on this webinar that's had to file a bankruptcy in the face of my father, my brother, my grandparents, all 4 of them passing on me, all in about a 9-month span. I ended up filing bankruptcy, and again, as my business and my world around me was collapsing, I was able to fall back on these fundamentals. I was able to pull myself back up, get back with my clients, and employ these fundamentals to be able to get up and do business and continue to generate huge, huge profits for our clients. And then finally, at age 40, I was courted by a public company who wanted to get into the internet marketing game. And at the time, I was pretty well known as a data collection expert or a database builder. My forte for many years has been building databases, and they asked me to join their public company and bring them into the internet age, and they waved a lot of stock at me and gave me a stock earnout program, and 9 months later I was being told I needed to go into a federal witness protection program because the owners, the CEO, president, and board of directors of the company, the owners, obviously, as the stockholders and the major shareholders, they were all in bed on a pump and dump stock scam, and I was subpoenaed and served up the testimony that put 3 or 4 people away for many years. And as the one serving up the testimony, I was asked to go into a federal witness protection program. Well, I turned it down. I got back up. I brought my fundamentals back to my clients. Only took a very short time, I think no more than 2 weeks, that I take off of my business and moved on. The reason I share these stories with you is obviously there's nothing so profound as this type of adversity in our life. And my ability to get back up and get going has everything to do with what I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. I want you to see some of the companies that have benefited from these fundamentals. These are some of our clients over the years. As I said, a lot of automotive. I've worked with major consumer packaged good companies like Sony and Toshiba, a lot of big real estate people, home improvement with Sears Home Improvement, local retail, sports and entertainment. One of my passions in life is sports. I am a radio sports talk show guy. I do a Friday sports talk show. I know enough to be dangerous in front of a microphone, and I know enough to subject myself to the audiences, and sort of sports talk radio can be a little bit of mockery to begin with. So it's a lot of fun and I enjoy it, but I really enjoy more the marketing side. I've done a lot of work with Major League Baseball, Sports Illustrated. I carved out a niche in the country music scene with people like Kenny Rogers and Johnny Cash. Now, you know, I'm pretty long time in the business if I go back with Johnny Cash. We actually did some radio syndication for Johnny Cash and actually used the same fundamentals I'm going to show you just a few minutes when I worked for Johnny Cash. So a lot of auto insurance, weight loss, smoking cessation, hair restoration. By the way, my hair restoration client always wanted to do a trade out with me. You can't see me, but I'm very receding hairline, and I always turn down trade with a client. And the moral of the story is don't do trade. Cash is king. Always ask your clients to pay the bill. Take the cash. I want you to hear what one of my clients said in a recent sit-down that we videotaped.
Vice President of Marketing for National Land Partners and Inland Management. I've worked with Scotty now for over 25 years, and I can honestly say that Scotty understands two things. Number one, lead generation, and number two, how to deliver a phenomenal return on investment. And that's 25 years generated millions of qualified leads all across the country through a variety of media.
And it's safe to say that together you and I have probably marketed several $1 billion worth of real estate easily.
The reason our relationship has endured for those 25 years is because Scott takes a vested interest in all we do in our business. He takes the time to understand our business and wants to understand our business and provide us with what we need.
All right, well, I cut that short a little. I apologize. I think you got the point. So it's time to get to the fundamentals anyway. I think I cut myself off because I'm tired of looking at my own receding hairline, to be honest with you. So let's move on. 5 marketing fundamentals. I want to get into now the next 25 minutes. I want to really share with you these fundamentals that I believe can transform your business. I believe if you take some notes and really think this through as you get into your office tomorrow, I think I can help you really change the context of your marketing and simplify. Take these 5 fundamentals, put them to use, and implement them in your business. The first one, and it sounds so darn obvious, we've all heard that we need to know our customer. We've all heard you got to know who your target audience is. You got to know who you're selling to. So knowing your customer is fundamental number 1. It's really job 1 in marketing. You have to be able to identify, both from a quantitative and qualitative standpoint, quantitative being simple things like how old are my prospects? What age group am I marketing to? You know, how you write your ad copy and what mediums you use to communicate to your target audience are all based on what they look like. What is the profile of your customer? Perhaps you've heard the term avatar, and we as marketers come up with fancy buzzwords, and one of those is avatar. And you need to create an avatar or a profile of your customers. There's a lot of different ways to do that. The ProfitPlayer system is in depth on how we identify who our best customers are, who we should be selling to, and we also teach you in the ProfitPlayer system, if you want to sell to somebody other than who you're currently selling to, how do you create that new niche? And I'm going to give you an example of a company creating a new niche. Mercedes-Benz sold automobiles that for many years you couldn't touch a Mercedes unless you had, I believe, their lowest priced car for years was $45,000 or $50,000. Then it went up to $60,000. And Mercedes was, you know, really a vehicle only of the upper class in America. The Mercedes groups around the country, including the one I worked with in Chicago, we all felt very strongly about being able to deliver an automobile and compete with some of the cars in the $30,000 range. So Mercedes created a vehicle, an entry class called the C-Class, that they now sell to the middle class. And when you get into the lease payments and the payments, they're low enough so that a whole new group of Mercedes buyers have come into the marketplace. So ProfitPlayer will take you not only through how to identify your current customers and who your best customers are, as well as perhaps a new audience, a market you'd like to carve out and sell to. Look at your customer from these things you see on the screen: age, sex, income, their occupation. You know, if you know a little something about the lifestyle and hobby of your customers, and you can relate to those in your advertising, or even sponsor or get involved in one of your customers' core hobbies, if you know that enough of your customers are in a group, they're in a Lions Club, or they're in a Kiwanis Club, or they're in a skiing club, or they're in a group that meets and reads books, you know, sponsor one of those groups. Get involved in one of those groups. So it's pretty easy to identify some of your customers' hobbies and their lifestyles and be able to play into that and wrap your advertising and marketing around their interests. More importantly is you have to know who your customers are in terms of their pain points and their fears. You need to cut to the chase. It's all about what makes them pain, what gives them pain in their life, and how can you help with that pain and fear. You know, some of the greatest thought leaders of our time have said that human beings continue to move away from their fears, and they'll do anything to move away from their fear. Fear is a great motivator. So if you can identify that fear or that pain point in your customer, you've got half the battle. Do a needs assessment. What do your customers want and desire, and what solutions can you offer? So fundamental number one is know your customer. And it sounds so simple again, but you sit down with a pad of paper, and I want you to either go into your database if you have one, and I want you to pull 10 customers out at random. And trust me when I tell you, 10 will give you a profile of your entire customer database. Nielsen Television uses 1,500 homes to generate television ratings for 300 million homes. Statistically speaking, it will be a sound sample size for you to take 10 customers, take 10 out of your database, or 10 people that you can identify as customers, and build a profile around those 10. And keep a running written notepad on this stuff and begin to draw lines around it. It'll help you market, I guarantee it. There's a lot of stuff you can do to get to know your customer. The data that you may have currently, you might have collected data. You can talk with your customers one-on-one. I suggest a quick focus group or a survey. You know, at the point that you've built a relationship with a customer, especially right after the sale, while they're still in the ether, they're still feeling good about you, you know, it's a good relationship. Take a survey, do a focus group. And also, I want you to know, you can go to a local real estate office and get a lot of demographic information from local realtors about the customers or people in your area. Okay, I'm going to move on to marketing fundamental number 2. Again, nothing profound here. It's not about anything that profound. We simply set some marketing objectives. What are you trying to accomplish with your marketing? Are you trying to generate leads? You trying to drive traffic to a website or to a brick and mortar store? Are you trying to build a database? Are you trying to close a sale? Some of us in sort of bigger budget levels, I don't think anybody on this call that's an entrepreneur is too worried about a brand or keeping their name out. I say name awareness is unnecessary when you can generate a lead or drive traffic. That's a far better objective. You know, I've had some clients whose objectives were to impress Wall Street. They wanted to make a market in their stock, and they wanted to make a better name on Wall Street. And we actually built marketing campaigns around it. I've had a client who said, I want to impress my girlfriend. That was literally his objective. He wanted to impress his girlfriend. You think my marketing plan was a little different, impressing his girlfriend, as opposed to going after his core target audience? And I'm not making light of the subject. If you set a marketing objective and you know what it is and you can clearly define that objective, you're going to be able to plan your marketing, both from the marketing communications you use. How do you reach your prospects? How do you attract new customers? The media and the marketing tools you use to attract new customers have everything to do about these 5 fundamentals. They have a lot to do with who your customer is and setting those marketing objectives. Marketing fundamental number 3, you need to build what we call a marketing model. So once you've identified your customer and once you've set objectives, you need to sit down and figure out some of these, what we call metrics or benchmarks. And there's 2 kinds of benchmarks. There's revenue side. How much gross sales do I do? What's my average sale? What are my conversion rates? Conversion rates of leads to sales, that is. And for those of us who are in a little more sophisticated analysis, we often look at the lifetime value of a customer, and I've done business with a lot of companies who spend money based on an acquisition cost, on a cost per acquisition, not on the average sale, but on the lifetime value of a customer. I don't know what's relevant to everybody on this webinar's business in terms of which one of these revenue side metrics are most important, but if I had to cue in or really hone in on two of these here, you need to know how much your revenue is so you can set a budget. That's number one, because your marketing budget needs to be a percentage of your sales, so obviously you need to know your sales. I think it's great to know what your average sale is. You can always, based on your average sale, your average fee, your average paycheck from a customer, you can always set your marketing in motion based on that simple objective. Knowing what your average sale is and what you can spend to acquire that sale on a cost per sale basis is really very critical. All right, marketing funnel number 3, the investment side metrics of a marketing model. This is now on the spending side. We just talked about building a marketing model based on knowing your gross sales, your average sale, and understanding what you can spend on a cost per sale basis is just as important. What you can spend to generate a lead is critical. Knowing what you can spend to create a lead based on your average sale and knowing your average cost per sale is really the key to profitability. This slide right here may be the most important key to profitability. I'm going to give you an example from the real estate side that I'm a real life practice today. For the last 3 years, I alluded to a company that's buying up large projects from the banks with anywhere from 25 to 100 condo units. I can tell you their model is based on right now an average sale of $100,000. They're trying to buy up low-price condos. Some of their projects are more, some of them are as much as $200,000 or $300,000. They're going in and buying projects that they can sell on average a unit for $100,000. That sets the tone for everything. This company spends 10% of their gross sales in marketing. They are buying these projects at such distress points from the banks. They're buying them at 15 cents, 20 cents on the dollar. It's nothing for them to buy something for 20 cents on the dollar and add that 10% marketing spend on top of that cost of acquiring the buildings and the condominiums. And based on that 10%, here's what we know. This company converts 2% of their leads. So they need 50 leads to make a sale. They know these numbers upside down and sideways. They know that in order to get to a 10% cost of sale on $100,000, this company can spend $10,000 to move that unit. In fact, our current model, we're really spending $5,000 because those 50 leads are costing us on average $100. There are times when the lead costs $200. If I have to generate 50 leads at a cost of $100, that's $5,000 in marketing cost. If I have to generate 50 leads at $200, I've now created a $10,000 advertising investment for them. Either way, as long as their back-end sales team is closing at 2%, we're going to be in that metric, that 10% cost of sale metric. So we need to keep our cost per lead and our cost per sale in front of us at all times. Building a marketing model is really fundamental to all of your marketing and your profitability. I don't know any marketer who is successful at any real level or any scale that hasn't figured out what they can spend for a lead or what they can spend in marketing. If you're not a lead generation advertiser and you're marketing products and services on some other basis beside lead generation, you still need to know what you can spend on a cost per sale basis, or what percentage of your budget you can spend on advertising. The Profit Player program provides you a guidepost. We have over 34 industries. I think there's 35 industries inside the Profit Player program where we give you that metric and these metrics for 35 industries. So we really help set you straight in terms of this marketing model. Number 4, you need to create a marketing plan. I think this is, again, something you've heard, something we all know. We can't operate without a plan. We got to be able to plan our way through things. And so creating a plan based on 3 key criteria. Who's your target audience? That comes from our first fundamental. Creating a budget and how much you're going to spend. That comes from one of our other fundamentals. And setting objectives. Now, you can see how this is a step-by-step system, because fundamental number 4 builds on the first 3 fundamentals. We take the first 3 fundamentals and plug them in to create a marketing plan. So we take fundamental number 1, who's our target audience, fundamental number 2, setting objectives and creating a budget, and we plug these right into fundamental number 4, creating a marketing plan. Very, very important to have a plan. A marketing plan is that which says, here's how much I'm going to spend this month, and now I'm going to figure out, based on my marketing budget, what marketing communications or what advertising I'm going to do. Am I going to use direct mail? Am I going to use email? Am I going to do social media? Am I going to do radio? Am I going to listen to my brother who sells cable TV and buy cable ads from him? How am I going to market my business? That's all a part of the marketing plan. A critical facet. I have a marketing plan for every client on a folder. I have that folder on my desk. Our media department, who buys and negotiates our media for our clients, they have those plans. They have all of these 5 fundamentals in a folder on their desk. We don't manage any marketing without constantly checking in on these fundamentals. And these are the fundamentals that make the marketing profitable. There isn't a client I've kept for 27 years on average that I didn't make a profit for, or I hardly think they would continue to have the confidence in us to continue to invest their marketing dollars. Part of that marketing plan consists of the media, as I said. You also have to get into your creative. What's your creative approach? What are you going to do creatively? What kind of advertising am I going to create? What is your copy points? What are those key copy points? If I'm doing a print ad, what kind of graphics am I going to use? What kind of pictures? If I know who my target audience is, do you think I know what kind of picture I can put in an ad? If my target audience for the high-end Mercedes is who I think it is, do you think I want to put a homeless person in the picture? Of course not. If my target audience is a lower-end product, if I'm selling something, at a much lower price point, and I'm selling to the masses, let me just say, you have a product or service that is, in fact, your target audience is selling to the masses, then use creativity and use graphics and write copy for the masses. Don't shoot too high, don't shoot too low. I once had a client write an ad for senior citizens. His product was adjustable beds. He was selling adjustable beds purchased by 55 and older adults. And he insisted on writing his ad. And he turned the ad over to his daughter, who was, I think, at the time, 20-some years old. She wrote a hip-hop script. You heard me correctly. She wrote a hip-hop rap script. She wrote some alliteration that was hip-hop for senior citizens. Didn't make any sense. The campaign flopped. She didn't have the fundamentals at hand. She didn't understand the fundamentals. In order to execute good creative, you got to know who your customer is, and you also have to know your objective. If you're trying to generate a lead, then you must have an offer and a call for action in your advertising. You can't run an ad in the newspaper if you're trying to make the phone ring without a call for action. That's a phone number or a web address without an offer. You have to put the bait on the hook. Whereas if you're advertising to drive traffic to your store, or you're advertising to keep your name in front of the Kiwanis Club, you know, you can do things a whole lot differently when you know what your objective is versus lead generation versus branding versus driving traffic to a website. It's all very different. You got to have a product and service offer. You need a strategy when you're implementing your marketing plan, and you must be prepared in your marketing plan to check in and evaluate the results from your marketing each and every campaign. Every time you run an ad, it's imperative that you collect whatever data you can in the ProfitPlayer system. We teach you how to do this stuff and how to collect that data. The fifth fundamental, and this one is overlooked by more than, I'd say, 90% of all companies, big and small, from Fortune 500s down to small business. I see an overwhelming tendency to forget about accountability. Establishing accountability as a marketing fundamental. Don't spend your first dollar in advertising and marketing until everybody in the business is accountable. And that starts with you as the entrepreneur. And of course, how you hold yourself accountable is by creating this fundamental system, by knowing who your customer is, by having a plan, by setting goals like what's my cost per lead, what can I spend in advertising, what does my marketing plan tell me I can spend this month in advertising, and then I got to go out and execute and stick to that budget. Your team needs to be accountable, and I'm not talking about entry-level employees, I'm talking about the higher-level employees. Anybody that touches your customer base should be plugged into your marketing, at least in a general sense. I have every media outlet we do business and negotiated media with understand the objective of the campaign. If I'm spending $1,000 on a radio station, you better believe that radio station knows exactly how many leads we expect to generate from that campaign. That's holding them accountable. If I don't get my 10 leads at $100 a lead for my condo client, that $1,000 didn't pay out. I'm not going to be profitable. I better go get my 10 leads, and if that radio station doesn't deliver it, there's a different kind of negotiation taking place. So accountability really keeps everybody on the same page and keeps everybody honest. So the vendors you do business with, the people who put product on your shelves, or anybody you're buying goods and services from, if they're important to your business, I know it sounds a little bit of a stretch to let them inside that, you know, that veil and that open that curtain to your business, but you got to let them in enough to make them accountable to your marketing dollars. It's all part of the profitability, and I can't stress enough. Stretch your comfort zone just a little bit, especially your media vendors. Anybody on this webinar that's spending money on marketing or advertising, you need to pull the people that you write the check to for your advertising. You need to pull them in and make them accountable. They need to know your goals. They need to know what you expect from the campaign. Very, very important.
Hi, I'm Gary Safford, founder and president of Creative Media Consultants in Elmhurst, Illinois. And I'd like to share with you the relationship I've had with Scotty over the years and how he's helped me increase our blueprint for success home builder sales from hundreds of thousands to a multi-million-dollar national marketing campaign. I was an NBC rep and Scott was my client, and toward the end of my career with NBC, Scott gave me the education and the knowledge how to show home builders accountability. And through Scott's measures that he put in place through accountability, we were able to grow a small TV campaign for home builders into a multi-million-dollar national campaign, all with Scotty's input.
All right, I want to talk a little bit now about the ProfitPlayer system. It's a 17-module system. There are 13 core modules and 4 bonus modules. And I think you've seen on the screen here throughout the presentation that the kinds of clients and the kinds of fundamentals we've executed throughout the media. As you can see at the top of the screen, the fundamentals we've used have been executed from the big television networks down to the local newspapers and everything in between. But it's all in these 17 modules, and it starts with a basic introduction and a basic ground level understanding that marketing really is everything, and everything is about your marketing when it comes to your profitability. You need to build a marketing foundation. You need to create the marketing model we talked about. The ProfitPlayer program presents to you the 5 key internal things that make your marketing go and the 5 external things that can hold up your marketing plan. And those 5 external things are things like your competition, things like government laws and regulations that we have to be accountable to, and so on. Knowing your customer, we talked about that. Understanding the marketing mix. Module 9 of the ProfitPlayer system is how to build your marketing plan. In Module 10, we cover what we call the cumulative effect. No one media is better than the other. If you're using one way to drive traffic and sales, you need to... Yes, CJ?
No, nothing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought I heard somebody. I'm sorry. I thought I heard you.
No, go ahead.
All right.
Great.
There we go. I'm going to move on here to the back end. I apologize. Bear with me a second here. This is what happens when you do this live, folks. We get into this situation. All right, can you see my screen, CJ? CJ, you with me? CJ, you still there? Okay. Can somebody raise their hand if we're still live? I'm afraid we might have lost the connection. All right, good. I apologize. I thought we lost everybody there for a minute, so bear with me. I'm going to move on toward the end here. Forgive me for the brief technical problems. All right, so let me go through the benefits of the ProfitPlayer system. I want to simplify your marketing and simplify your life. I want to give you a step-by-step system that'll help you with your marketing and your fundamentals, give you more leads, traffic, and sales. That's really the bottom line, to do more business, more profitability, and actually not only work with your current customer base and do more business with your current customers, but actually teach you how to do business with and acquire new customers. Really important part of the fundamentals to do business with new customers. I'm going to jump ahead here and get to the bottom line of what the ProfitPlayer system is. It's a 13-course module with 4 bonus modules. We have a resource guide that effectively gives you all of my contacts. I open up my Rolodex, my 32 years of invaluable contacts. They're all in the ProfitPlayer system. I share my vendors from my web guys to my pay-per-click guys and everything in between. We really give you the entire gamut of our 32 years of our contacts, and it's quite a Rolodex, as you can imagine, after 3 decades. The ProfitPlayer system also comes with a monthly webinar. We really keep this thing on track by getting together once a month on the phone and talking through everything. So we offer the 17 modules, our resource guide, and a monthly webinar, and all kinds of newsletters and everything in between. We will give you a daily tip of the day. We have a marketing tip of the day that goes out to everybody. And of course, for everybody that's stuck around here tonight, we also have a free 30 days of coaching with me. So, you know, this program, typically a program like this sells for $2,000. I've lowered the price to $997, but because you are on CJ's list, I've made arrangements with CJ to offer this tonight and only tonight, the Profit Player System for $497. And you can do that with one payment of $497, or you can do it in a 3-payment plan. I'm going to put up a link here right now that everybody can go to, and you can click on the link and you can look at the order page. And I encourage you to hit on the link once it gets up there and take advantage of our special offer tonight. That offer again is to the entire Profit Player System with 17 video learning modules. By the way, each module is about 45 minutes. We encourage you to go through one module per week and then fit the 4 bonus modules in wherever you have the time. So I want to make this clear. This is not a big time commitment program here. We keep it simple. We give you one module a week for 13 weeks and then 4 modules that come out as a bonus. Upon joining the Profit Player System, immediately you'll have immediate access to our membership site and the first 4 modules. You can literally get started on this program tonight, because as you hit the submit button and become a valued Profit Player member and a member of our Profit Player System, we'll give you access to the first 4 modules. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's no questions asked. You can try Profit Player for 30 days, and if you want to return it, we'll give you your money back. We ask no questions. It's our commitment. It's the way we do business. In fact, it's the way every expert should do business. But I go one step further. For valued associates like CJ, I like to give a 12-month guarantee. I want you to get 10 times the value of the Profit Player System. I want you to have $5,000 in value, or I will give you 10 times. If you don't get 10 times the value after 12 months, we'll actually give you your money back. I ask for one thing at the end of those 12 months. I ask that you give me 60 days working one-on-one with you to get inside your business and help you create the kind of 10-time profit we're talking about. So what I'm really saying here is, if you don't get $4,970, let's call it $5,000 worth of benefit out of the $497 program, we're going to give you your money back. So that's our double guarantee, and it's a guarantee designed to give you the comfort that this program and these 5 fundamentals that you saw tonight are just the tip of the iceberg, the absolute tip of the iceberg. Again, I want you to know that there's no questions asked on the 30 days, your money back. You can log on now at profitplayer.net/offer. The link is now in the chat box, and it's also at the bottom of the screen here, www.profitplayer.net/offer. So do that knowing that at 30 days you're going to have an opportunity if you're not satisfied, and as at the end of a year, we're so confident you'll get this value of this program, we're willing to give you 12 months. We'll throw in the 4 free bonus modules, as I said, and we have an additional bonus tonight, 4 free weekly coaching sessions. I want to throw in this bonus just for CJ's folks, 4 20-minute coaching sessions with your own Profit Player accountability partner. Though those are 2 of my top coaches and my top staff, they'll work side by side with you, and they'll coach you every step of the way in the ability to work with an accountability partner. Keeps this very, very straight ahead and keeps you on track. So that's the presentation. I'm going to open it up to questions, if there's any questions in the chat box. I see a question coming in about the double guarantee. Yes, the guarantee's for 12 months For 1 year, you have a full year to use the program. If you don't get 10 times the value, $5,000 worth of value, then we essentially will give you your money back, no questions asked. So we have a 30-day guarantee and then a 12-month guarantee. There's another question coming in. How many fundamentals are there in the Profit Player program? Well, there's 17 modules, and each module is a different fundamental. So we have 17 modules in all, and we offer the 17 modules over 13 weeks. So you'll receive the modules over a 13-week period. And of course, you have immediate access to the first 4 modules when you buy those tonight. So I want to thank everybody for their time tonight. CJ, do you have anything to wrap it up? All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We appreciate your attendance. Appreciate you coming. I'm going to stick around, and I'll be here for another couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to leave the chat box open. And we appreciate your attendance tonight. We know that you're going to get a couple of bonuses. We'll send an email out in the morning with your bonus for your free coaching. You'll go and log on to my schedule, and you'll pick your time, and you'll be able to go ahead and schedule your coaching with me. And you'll also get your brain training, the Winning the Game of Money from John Asseroff. I'm going to go ahead and unmute. I see a question. I've unmuted. If anybody else has a question, I've gone ahead and I've unmuted everybody. Go ahead and ask. All right. Well, thank you. I'll be here another couple minutes. Again, tonight for CJ's audience only, $497. The Profit Player Total Training System, 12-month money-back guarantee. And we hope to see you on the other side and see you in the membership site. Thank you very much, and everybody have a great night. Okay. Come on back. Yeah, bye. Hi there. I have no idea.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected.